Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. Today I'm playing against Matt. You've met him before. We're here at the Dungeon of the Eternal Warriors chapter of the 40k Nation, and I'm playing Eldar. This is 1750 points of Eldar. Matt, take it away. What do we have?
We're starting off with a buff mander, and he's attached with 2 marker drones. And there are 4 marker drones in a squad. Should be 4.
Yep.
Perfect. I have a unit of 10 Kroot with a Kroot Hound. A unit of 7 Fire Warriors and a Devilfish with Disruption Pods. There's an Ethereal joined to the unit. A unit of 8 Fire Warriors in a Devilfish with Disruption Pods. A unit of Missile Sides. They have Twin Link High Yield Missiles, Smart Missile System. 2 of them have Early Warning Overrides. The Chasve, the Sergeant, whatever he is, has a Drone Controller. They have 4 Missile Drones. Behind him is a Riptide with an Ion Accelerator, Smart Missile System, Early Warning Override. And then my Eldar contingency is a Jet Seer, pretty stock just for a Seer on jet bike, with 6 Wind Riders, 2 cannons in it, and a Wraith Knight, completely unconventional build with Ghost Glaive, Scatter Shield, and dual scatter lasers. And
these 2 colors complement each other beautifully. Matt's been working on them. They look great. They're coming along really nice. You can see on the Riptide he's got a lot of work there. And we're playing on this said battlefield. Big guns never tire. Secondary is Purge the Alien, so kill points. We have 4 objectives playing Las Vegas Open, Bay Area Open style game. So Matt put his Aegis Defense line there with a quad gun. And I put that objective there. Then I put that one there near my deployment zone. He put that one on the side there. And he put another one there for his outflanking Kroot to come in later in the game. And my 1750 points, we have 2 Raiders. One with a 5-man warrior squad with a blaster. One with 5 Witches with Haywire grenades. 20 Guardians with 2 Bright Lances with a Jet Seer who rolled Guide, Prescience, and Forewarning for the 4+ invul. We have 4 units of 5 Warriors with blasters in Venoms with dual cannons. One of them has a Grizzly trophy. 3 Eldar jet bikes, 2 Scatter Laser Warwalkers, and 2 Triple Lance Ravagers with Flick Fields and Night Shields. So, we'll be back after deployment and first turn. Stay tuned for an action-packed battle report. We are back, baby. Deployment. Matt won the roll to decide whether to go first or second. It is night fight, turn 1, and he chose to make Vect go first to deny one of his most strategic advantages. So I deployed. We have 3 units of warriors and venoms, a big blob with a jet seer with a shard, another warrior in venom, Vect and the witches in that one, and 5 more warriors in that one, 2 ravagers, and the warwalkers, which will scout forthwith. Then we have the broadsides taking the forefront in the ruin. We have the Wraith Knight towering above. The Riptide dwarfed by the Wraith Knight. The jet bikes with the Jet Seer that has a cool little fins. He's painting them out really nicely. And then we have 2 Devilfishes. That one back there is the one with the... No, this one here is the one with the Ethereal. And then the Buff Mander with the marker drones. And Matt, of course, is going to attempt to seize the initiative from Vect himself. And it doesn't happen. Okay, Eldar, Dark Eldar, turn 1. Let's have some fun. The Eldar, Dark Eldar force moved up and blasted as much as they could through the night into the broadsides, killing most of the drones and 1 broadside. They passed their morale. The Warwalkers on the far flank battle-focused backwards and fired into the marker drones, killing 4 marker drones. The commander passed his morale save. Vect turbo-boosted behind this pipe. And now we're moving on to Tau and Eldar. Turn 1. What will they reap? A lot of moving. Saw the Riptide move over to this flank. Fire into the Ravager on the mini bastion, and I passed my cover saves. Then we had the Missileides open up into this raider full of warriors, killing 2 guardians in the explosion and 3 of the 5 warriors. They are not pinned, but they will have to take a morale test. to see if they flee. Then we had the Jetbike Shuffle. The Farseer, Farseer put prescience on the Wraith Knight, who moved up and fired at the Warwalkers, who were covered by the Shrouding of Darkness, and so only suffered one glancing hit. And then the Commander moved back after shooting his Marklights ineffectively over there. And the Devilfishes are moving around, getting ready to pounce late game. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 2. Let's see if the Dark Eldar reserves, a unit of 3 Eldar Jetbikes, show up on a 3+. They don't. They are staying back. So, continuing to move up and put pressure on the Eldar army. Put 2 wounds on the Riptide. Killed all the broadsides as well as the quad gun. Also killed the Buffmander, and 1 drone is left alive, and I killed 2 of the Jetbikes. I jumped Vect out. He charged in, did 4 wounds with his super poison weapon, 3 invulnerable saves were made, and then the Wraith Knight squished him because he failed his first Shadowfield save, and all the witches are now dead too. So now the Wraith Knight is ready to roll Rampart within the Dark Eldar army. What a turn of events. We shall see what happens on turn 2. We had the Tau contingent move over to the flank. The little drone rallied and moved up to support his brethren with his Marklight. The Tau shooting saw 1 immobilized Venom and put a hull point on it. 1 Venom with 1 gun taken away and put a hull point on it. 1 Venom wrecked. The passengers are unscathed. The Wraith Knight jumped over, shot and charged into a Ravager, blowing it sky high, while the outflanking Kroot fired onto the Warwalkers and put 1 hull point on the Warwalkers. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3. Will the Eldar Jetbikes arrive? They do. We had the Eldar Jetbikes arrive from reserve and stay out of line of sight of the Riptide to negate interceptor firepower. The Venoms moved around that could move, and the big blade storming unit of Forewarned Guardians put 3 wounds on the Wraith Knight with their blade storm, and then they were finished off by the unit of warriors in that Venom. The remainder of the shooting, this Ravager, that Raider, that unit, this unit down here, both Venoms, both units inside the Venoms, all fired into the Riptide and successfully put 4 wounds through the Ethereal's Feel No Pain as well, killing the Riptide. And last but not least, the Warwalkers guided, took out all of the Kroot that outflanked, but lost one of the number to a crazy good Overwatch. And now we're moving on to Tau and Eldar, turn 3. The Firewars moved by the Scatterfield objective behind the Aegis line and blasted this Venom into oblivion. The contents is out and unpinned. The Devilfish blasted into this other Venom, and the contents is actually pinned but didn't explode. The Firewars with the Ethereal fired into said unit and killed 1 of them. And the Devilfish fired into that Raider, killing 1. And the Jetbikes moved up. Psychic Shriek killed 1 model, thanks to the 4+ invulnerable save. And the 1 cannon didn't kill another one. And then we're moving on to Eldar, Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar turn 4. We had the big blob move up, using the targeting relay, reloading 1s, blade stormed into the Jetbikes and the Farseer that only moved 4 inches last turn. I killed all the Jetbikes and put the Farseer down to 1 wound, and then the Prescienced Warwalker finished him off and then moved back 6 inches after battle focusing to that objective. All other shooting saw 2 hull points and a burst cannon taken off that Devilfish, and everything else is currently intact. So now we'll move on to Tau and Eldar, or now just Tau, turn 4. We had the Eldar, the Ethereal, do his mini feat and do 3 shots at close range for all pulse weapons. So he blasted that unit to do 2, and they're fleeing. He blasted the unit in the building with the Devilfish that immobilized itself to 1 man, and he's fleeing. He killed 4 units and put a wound, 5 models and put a wound on the Farseer from the blob. And that's it. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar. Turn 5 could be the end of the game. I guided the Ravager, who blew up the Devilfish. They then battle-focused around that objective and shot the drones that went to ground and only lost one drone. So that drone is now pinned, but he's staying there outside of contesting range. The Warwalker shot and moved back. Warriors and Cavalry Warriors moved around. Eldar Jetbikes go in position to come in if the game goes to turn 6 or 7. And now we're moving on to Tau, turn 5. We had the Ethereal do a Storm of Fire and kill 3 more of the unit of Guardians beside the objective. We had these little drones get out, and combined fire killed 4 out of that unit that stayed. We Venom destroyed by that unit of Fire Warriors in the back there. And now, with the end of the game and the balance, Matt is going to roll to see if it continues. It doesn't. That's game. We'll be back with a recap and point count. Okay, so game over, Cap. The Dark Eldar have won the primary. The Tau and Eldar won the secondary. And because of extra points, we just... the Tau and Eldar lost by 1 point. So it is victory for Vect's army by 1 point, which was... because I forgot about Linebreaker with them. It would have been a little bit higher. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Matt, any last comments?
Again, Venom Fire killed me. And new to this army, I positioned things incorrectly, and I'm still learning how to use a lot of stuff. So, completely my fault for not knowing the army properly, and the synergies. I'm just starting to learn all the synergies. So, very awesome learning curve, and I'm very happy.
Fantastic. We had a ton of fun. Make sure you stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. Go over to the blog site and podcast site at scar.podbean.com to check out more stuff every week. And this is Skari, your grateful host. The Tactical Corner will talk about different tactical notes about the game. Thanks a lot. Cheers and see you next time. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. We'll start with Matt's army. A fantastic army. It had lots of different elements. Eldar for fast scoring, the Jet Seer, the Devilfish for troops. The only thing that was, a couple of upgrades here and there that he's going to be working on. We did play 1750, so in my army I was able to put in a lot more, like the big blob of Guardians and the double scatter War Walkers. Now the initial game was just vying for position. I tried to target the Wraith Knight with Vect, which ended up being a big mistake, as I completely forgot he had an invulnerable save, and Vect died a horrible, hideous death. But Vect was probably the best choice to take out that target with the Poison 3+ power weapon. Now, the Riptide have always been a tough time for me. I needed the Riptide to get closer, which it did, so that my blasters could take care of it. Like, you can shoot poison, a lot of poison into them, but they're very hard to take out. I wasn't too worried about the outflanking Kroot. I knew they'd come in, probably shoot the Warwalkers. Luckily, they didn't kill the Warwalkers, and then the Warwalkers turned around, guided, blasted like 8 of them down, and then charged in and wiped them out in combat. Now, I wasn't able to deal with the transports as soon as I hoped. Matt got out of his transports, which would have been a risky move, but he was able to take out my entire Venoms over the course of 2 turns, which safeguarded his troops from anti-infantry firepower. But towards the end of the game, all he had to move forward and push forward were the Devilfishes, meaning I was able to deal with them and solidify my position on the objectives. Now, my goal when I put objectives down was to put them towards the center of the board, to really move up into it and have the center of the board controlled in terms of movement. And the huge blob of Fearless Guardians with a 4+ invulnerable save were fantastic at creating that sort of null zone where of just board control, and especially towards the objective, and being able to move all the way from one side to another using battle focus was great. Of course, lucky things like having a tank getting mobilized in your lines, and then the game ending really before anything else could happen kind of helps. But all in all, I had most of my army intact in terms of firepower, and he was kind of on the ropes, and this was for applying early pressure within the game.